From the Missouri School of Journalism, welcome to Global Journalist. Filling in for David Reed, I'm Rehman Tungekar. Pakistan is the most dangerous country in the world to be a journalist. This, according to Reporters Without Borders. The group reports that in 2011, 10 journalists were killed in Pakistan. A total of 66 were killed worldwide. Perhaps the most famous of these deaths was the case of Syed Salim Shahzad, the bureau chief for Asia Times Online. He was found apparently tortured to death, and prior to that, Shahzad had reported feeling threatened by Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence Agency, or ISI. Shahzad's case, and others, raises some important questions. How did it get so dangerous? How has reporting changed in Pakistan? And how do journalists protect themselves? Here to answer those questions and others are two journalists that have reported extensively in the country. Mahbub Ali is a correspondent for the GeoTV network, where he reports from the north of the country. And Anil Khalid Khan is a correspondent for Mashal Radio, which is a Pashto broadcasting channel of Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty. The two were brought to Columbia this week through an exchange by the East-West Center. Mahbub and Neela, thank you so much for joining us today. I want to begin the discussion just by asking an obvious question. What's it like being a journalist in Pakistan today? Mahbub, can we start with you?
Thank you. Let me pay thanks to you for inviting me and for giving this opportunity to speak about the journalist in Pakistan. Well, as you have mentioned earlier, that Pakistan has been declared the most dangerous country as far as journalists are concerned. Mostly, as I'm based in Swat and I work in Swat in other districts of Malakand division. Fortunately or unfortunately, three of the districts of Malakand division, Chitral, Upper Dir and Lower Dir, has a border with Afghanistan. And having said that, this is a very sensitive area. In the last 10 years, almost we have lost 49 journalists from Pakistan. Those journalists mostly who have been killed by militants in the area. Only last year, in 2011, 11 journalists were killed in Swat Valley. Besides that, in the last 3 years, only in Swat Valley, we have lost 4 journalists. Now, the problem that we are having in Pakistan, that after the killing of the journalist, they usually establish a commission. But what happens at the end, that the commission, they don't come out with any result. And at the end they say, no, we couldn't reach to the result. Now the Pakistani journalists, what they are demanding from the high authorities in Pakistan, that journalists should be given protection. Because journalists are the most vulnerable targets for anybody. We journalists don't have enough resources to protect ourselves. Again, as I mentioned earlier, that the journalists are the mild targets for anybody. We don't have security guards. We don't have weapons. Daily going from the home to the office, this thing stuck on my mind that somebody may not kill me. And in 2009, one of my colleagues who was working with me, and his name was Musa Khan Khail, when he reached to the north of Swat, to the Mata area, he was picked up from that place by militants, and he was carried to an unknown place, and there the militants killed him, and he was killed by 32 bullets. So, this is the way you can imagine that how dangerous the valley, Swat Valley, Malakand, and Pakistan is for the journalists.
Well, why isn't more being done, though, to protect journalists? Anila, would you like to take that?
Sorry.
Well, so I think it's well established that Pakistan is extremely dangerous for journalists. And with your colleague, from an earlier discussion, it came about that there was a huge protest afterwards. A lot of citizens kind of rose up in support of him. So, there's a lot of public outrage. Why isn't the government responding, or why does the situation still remain dangerous for journalists?
Yeah. I would also like to share with you that from the last few years, almost 80 to 90 journalists have been killed because they have raised the voice of public, and they have spoken against terrorism, and because they thought that they have the right to speak, the right of expression, and that's why they have been killed. As far as government is concerned, mm officials says that they are doing something, and they are intending to do something for the protection of journalists. But there are some non-governmental organizations who are taking action for such kind of killings and assassinations as well. So they are doing, but nobody knows what to do exactly, how to protect them. I mean, it is not possible that every journalist will be having some bodyguards. As we were told today in a meeting, that in USA there is a woman journalist who got threats, and then she was given 4 bodyguards for her protection by the government. In our country, it is not possible that every journalist will be having that protection. So, in my view, there should be some laws, such kind of measures or things because of which journalists will feel protected, and that is the way that then they will be then they will feel secure, and they will be much comfortable while doing their job. So I think government must do something for that, and also the non-governmental organizations and journalists also need such trainings, because of which they can take care of themselves.
Okay. How did it get to this point? Has it always, I mean, since the beginning of the war on terror, has it always been this dangerous, or did it escalate?
Well, I mean, it is always difficult to do reporting in the conflict zones, particularly as far as the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and FATA is concerned. It is very difficult to move from one place to another place, and I mean, you never know what happens to you. More particularly when you see that your colleagues, they have already been killed, the journalists have been killed, so it is very difficult. I mean, besides that we have lost 49 journalists in the last 10 years. Besides that, there are more than 70 journalists who have been wounded, who are seriously injured. Now, I'm also the General Secretary of SWAT Press Club. And I'm also working in Malakan Division, and I am the supervisor of 7 reporters who are working with me in Malakan Division. So, while being in Swat Valley, I'm always thinking about the security of my crew, of my members, my journalists who are working there. And I always give advice to them to be careful, to take extra care. Because most of the journalists in Swat Valley, most of the journalists in Malakan Division and in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, even in spite of the fact that they work in conflict zones, but they don't have bulletproof jackets. They have not been provided with the safety training, that how to protect yourself. And you were astonished to know that some of the organizations, particularly print media, even they don't bother to give payment, to give salary to their reporters. Some of the reporters, even they do work in the conflict zones without payment.
That's incredible. Huh.
But they still are willing to do their job, and they are very committed to their work. So journalists are very committed despite the bad situation in our country, and they don't care about anything, because we think that being a journalist, I also think I'm also given, my channel is also, they have received such kind of threats, but I think that when it becomes difficult to live in a situation, it becomes more essential and important that you live in that situation. When it becomes more difficult, you have to live in that situation. You don't leave things like this, because we are the people who will bring change. Because if you don't take any initiative, who will come and do for your country and for your people? We are the ambassadors, we are the people, and because we are the youth. So it is the responsibility of youth, also the government. We cannot leave everything on government. We cannot leave everything. We cannot all the time accuse the people who we don't know about, that who are those people who has brought this terrorism thing in our country.
And Anila, I would like to add that besides that, that when this war on terror, when it was at its peak, so besides the community, we had some pressure from our home, from our family, that leave this job because your life is at stake. Leave this. But again, we thought that if we will not do this work, so who will come forward to do it? And what the people will say? Why he left the job? Whether he's afraid? So we continue the job, and even we refused to leave our area. Like we received offers from our colleagues, our friends, our organizations to come to Islamabad, to come to Karachi, to come to other areas.
Because
but we
the
refused.
area in which Mehboob and me, I live in NWFP, presently called Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and he is also, his valley Swat is also in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So that is a bit more dangerous than other provinces and places of Pakistan. It is bordered with FATA, Federally Administered Tribal Area, the northwest of Pakistan, and terrorism has very much affected that place. If you know about North Waziristan, South Waziristan, where drone attacks are, you must know about that. So our area is more dangerous than other, and that's the reason that also my radio Mashal is focusing on FATA and their youth, on their women. So that is the reason that we receive threats from unknown people.
And Anila, let me add one thing more, that like my organization is a big organization in Pakistan, Geo Television Network. So they have provided me training, and after I got the training, so now I'm giving training to my colleagues in Swat and to other members of the press club, and I'm lucky enough to have training. And I'm giving training to the journalists. But most journalists who are working in the valley, they have not been provided training by their organizations. They have not been provided safety measures, safety tools.
True.
Huh. Okay. Well, it sounds, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like the greatest threat in the Swat Valley in Frontier Province is militants and it's a product of the war, correct? I was wondering if you could talk about the role of the ISI and its relationship to journalists. In the introduction, I had mentioned that Salim Shahzad was killed after reporting that Al Qaeda had infiltrated the Pakistani Navy, and it was widely, correct me if I'm wrong, believed that the ISI had a part in that. Is that an atypical situation?
Well, let me tell you that Salim Shahzad used to live in Islamabad, and Islamabad is a very safe place. That is the capital of Pakistan. Now, when Salim Shahzad was killed, so there was a rage in Pakistan. The people, particularly the journalist community, they came out to the streets, to the roads for demonstrations, and like that. Then the government promised to establish a commission to find out the fact that who has killed Salim Shahzad. But unluckily, at the end, the commission submitted the report, and they said that they are unable to find out the culprits, that who has killed Salim Shahzad. Now, there were allegations, no doubt, on ISI, but I mean, the commission, they said that no, we can't say that who is the culprit, basically. So there were allegations, no doubt, but who has killed Salim Shahzad, nobody know that.
Okay. Is there something the government could do, though? I mean, for example, why couldn't the administration of President Zardari take a tougher stand, or maybe enforce the creation of a commission that would investigate this properly?
You are absolutely right. Like even now, the journalist community, Pakistan Federal Union of Journalists, Islamabad Rawalpindi Union of Journalists, and other journalist organizations, even now, they are demanding for it that the commission, again, another commission should be established, and the head of the commission should be a justice of the High Court or Supreme Court, to find out the fact that who has killed actually Salim Shahzad. But I mean, they are demanding, they are protesting, but we don't know that what will happen. But let me tell you one thing. What I feel personally, that the government is not sincere to find out the culprit of Salim Shahzad.
Hmm. And why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, the government is pretty much busy in their corruption, in their local politics. When the government is thinking that they should complete the 5 years tenure, so they are all time busy in those things. They don't have any time for journalists, I think.
Well, actually, before we continue our discussion, I just want to remind everyone that you can view or listen to this program anytime by downloading our podcasts at globaljournalist.org. You can also find interesting articles, photos, and interviews related to today's program on our website. Please send us questions or comments on our Facebook page or via globaljournalist@kbia.org. You can also follow us on Twitter at GJJournalist. Well, so the discussion so far has largely focused on journalism, the experience of journalists across Pakistan. I was hoping we can devote the last couple of minutes to just your experiences. Mubu, you've actually received threats recently. Could you just tell me about that?
Well, I received threats many times from militants, and sometimes I tell to my colleagues that now we have become threats proof, shock proof, and we don't bother when they give threats. It's okay. I say it's okay. Whatever you can do, so do it, because I cannot safeguard myself. Whenever you wanna do anything to me, so you can do easily. And I'm the person that who has promised to his soil that I'm not going to leave this soil for you. And I'm not the person who will leave the soil for the terrorist. So I have received threats many times, and the result is that one of my colleague he lost his life. But I mean, I have this intention, this determination that I'll have to live in Swat Valley. I have to work in Malakan division, and I have to live there.
Anila, have you had a similar experience, or?
Yeah, but I would not like to say much on this. Is it because we want the right of expression? We journalists want to talk freely. As we see the things, we want to share it with people. And our job is only this, to aware people. This thing was not, before it was not like this. Media 2002 reforms was initiated by the then President Pervez Musharraf and the Pakistan Electronic Media Regulatory Authority. Also, they effectively bisected the television market between terrestrial television broadcasting and the new privately run cables and satellite. Now, as you know that the media in Pakistan is very young, and the journalists, I won't say that they don't know much about journalism and they are not professional. They are, but they don't know how to protect themselves, how to act, how to act, and how to speak. So I think they should, they need that thing. They need some trainings, and that is very much important for them. That they should get some trainings from some professionals. I will appreciate if America take initiative in it, and they start training our journalists. So I will appreciate it. And as far as my threats are concerned, obviously, as I told you, that my area, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, is not safe for men. So how is it possible that it will be safe for women? It is not that easy thing for a woman who come out of such a hostile environment, and when she serve in a media, and then she speak on such issues like terrorism and women emancipation and other things like that. So what do you think, that she will be safe? She will not receive any threats?
Well, actually, I do want to get into your reporting about displaced women and children, but just to go back to an earlier point, you had asked that Americans do more to help, I suppose, to provide support for Pakistan and Pakistani journalists.
Right.
Have you actually seen support from outside the country?
Yes, definitely. I mean, after the killing of journalists, we have seen on the television screens, on the internet, that International Union of Journalists. They extended full support to Pakistani journalists, and they say, we are with you in this difficult time. I mean, at least we received a moral support from International Union of Journalists. So, journalists, yes, and we want it. We wanted that international media, international journalist organization, they should assist us, they should help us because we are passing through a very hard time.
Well, how would you assess the international media coverage of Pakistan? I mean, the Shahzad case got lots of attention. Was that unusual, or I guess just how would you assess the international coverage of Pakistani issues?
Well, you are absolutely right, and I do agree with you that, as I told earlier, that we have lost 49 journalists, but Salim Shahzad was lucky enough that he received much coverage in international media, much more attention in international media. Now, the same we want because this is one of the way that we can pressurize those forces who are against the peace. To give them a lesson that if you are going to kill another journalist, so international media will speak against you.
Okay. You had gone into this earlier, but I mean, in the face of such danger, why do you both continue to report?
Well, let me tell you one thing that, as I mentioned earlier, that
By the way, it is a very important and interesting question always.
let me tell you that as far as the place where I do work in Malakand region, it was very hard and difficult area in 2008, 2009. But then what happened that Pakistani security forces launched a surgical operation against the militants in the area. And now when I compare 2012 with 2009 and 8, so the situation is very peaceful now. And as I mentioned earlier that now even the tourists, they used to come to Swat Valley. They do enjoy skiing in Swat Valley because Swat Valley is a very beautiful area. And the people in Pakistan, they call it Switzerland of the East. Like that is a land of beautiful landscapes, rivers, lush green mountains. So, I mean, the life is coming to its normalcy. The life is coming towards peace. And I hope, and I wish, and I pray for it, that the life in Swat Valley should be peaceful for always.
And if you see the terrorism is not only in Pakistan, it is not a new thing. It is very old. If you see the history and you find some books, it is a worldwide phenomena and issue. America is affected by terrorism. All other countries are also, so many countries are also affected by terrorism. So instead of even focusing on Pakistan, we should, America and the whole world should focus on terrorism, and they all should get together and should find the way, should find some solution how to get rid of this thing. So I guess that is the best thing, that we all should get together and find the solution, that who are these people. Nobody has the answer for this question, that who are these people. They give them the name of Taliban, but if I tell you about Talib means student who seek for knowledge. Taliban is the plural of Talib. So Taliban is misinterpreted. Who are these people? These which we call Taliban, terrorists, extremists. We should find these people. And it is not between the American people and Pakistani people. It is between the both countries' governments, the ISI, the CIA, the Pakistani government, and the American government. They all should find a solution.
And let me add one point more. Like in Swat Valley, the total population of Swat Valley is 1.8 million. But how much were the terrorists in Swat Valley? Only 8,000. It means that even less than 1% of the people of the population were Taliban. And let me tell you a very interesting thing, that the vast majority of Pakistani people, they are not extremists. Almost 90% of the Pakistani people are very moderate, enlightened people. Again, we have 5% religious extremist and 5% liberal extremist. But the vast majority, they are moderate people. But what we need from the West, what we need from the United States to project those people, the majority of Pakistan.
Right.
And sometimes we feel that there is a misconception about Pakistan in the United States. Like the people think that everybody is a Talib, everybody is extremist, but the fact is not the same. If you come to Pakistan, you will see hustle and bustle in Karachi, a lot of rush in Peshawar, rush in Lahore, people are enjoying. So the situation is not that much bad in Pakistan, I mean, on the ground. Yes, we are having militants in FATA, in some hide pockets in Swat, in Malakand, but there are also people who want to go up and up. You will astonished to know, let me tell you a very interesting thing. In the last 3 years, as far as IT, internet and social media is concerned, Pakistan has made 1600% development. It means we are going up and up. But the problem that we are having, currently Pakistan is having, besides militancy, Pakistan is facing this time severe energy crisis. In the country where there is no power for 16 to 18 hours, just imagine how the industry can flourish, how the education can flourish, how any other sector, I mean. Pakistan, international world, besides militancy, international world should help Pakistan as far as our energy crises are concerned.
And we only have about a minute left. Would you both just briefly go into what you predict will happen in Pakistan with relation to journalists? Is the situation going to improve or steps moving in the right direction? Anila, do you want to start?
I'm very hopeful, always. I think things are going to get settled. And I wish if it is not like this, still I will hope that we should not, one should not get disappointed.
Okay, and Mehboob, in about 20 seconds.
I'm very optimist, and when I look to this cup of water, I look at it as half full, not half empty. I'm very optimistic.
Well, that concludes this week's edition of Global Journalist, produced by the Reynolds Journalism Institute and the Missouri School of Journalism. Joining us today in studio were Anila Khalid Khan and Mehboob Ali. I just wanted to thank both of you for coming in today, and I wish you both the best of luck.
And thanks for giving us the opportunity to speak on the issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Global Journalist is directed by Travis McMillan, with production assistance by Leah Becerra. Audio was done today by Pat Akers. Sravani Pere was the lead producer. Now, please, I encourage you to join us again next week for another edition of Global Journalist. Filling in for David Reed, I'm Rehman Tungekar.